So today I'm going to be talking about my top 10 favorite Ottawa Senators players of all time. I'm going to be counting from 10 to 1, so least to greatest. And after I'm done counting down the top 10, I'm also going to throw in some honorable mentions in there as well. Starting off at number 10, playing in 407 games for Ottawa, is Kyle Turris. This guy was a high draft pick by the Arizona Coyotes, the Phoenix Coyotes at the time they took him. And Kyle Turris, he kind of had a rocky start to his career, really found his groove once he got traded to Ottawa. That really almost made him realize his potential, it looked like. And he had a great 5 or 6 years or so in Ottawa. But after he left the Sens, he had a good first year in Nashville. He's never been the same since. For me, Kyle Turris, I really liked him because I just thought he was a great guy. He always worked hard. He always gave it his all. He also seemed like a really good guy off the ice. And when I say a good guy off the ice, obviously I didn't know him personally. I didn't know anyone on this list personally that I'm going to name off. But just from what you see in interviews and stuff, and also when you hear about all the charity work he's done, especially in the Ottawa community with the Capital City Condors and stuff like that, that just really goes to show what a great character guy Kyle Turris is. At number 9, we have Mark Stone playing in 366 games for Ottawa. Mark Stone was a real leader for the Sens. He was never named captain. He was going to be named captain had the Sens signed him long term. Obviously, we know that didn't happen. Very crafty stick, stealing pucks off guys, pickpocketing them, however you want to call it. Almost Pavel Datsyuk-like. I mean, he was that good at it, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that either, and that's carried over into Vegas. Great two-way forward. Wore his heart on his sleeve. When Mark Stone scores a goal, you definitely know it. When Mark Stone's team scores a goal, you definitely know it. He gets just as excited for other guys on his team scoring as if he was to score the goal himself too. Number 8, we have a current Ottawa Senators player, Thomas Shabbat, who as of right now has appeared in 254 games played. Shabbat, again, great guy in my opinion, should be the captain. I know a lot of people want Brady Tkachuk. I'm probably in the small minority that want Thomas Shabbat. And for Shabbat, like I said, I think he's a guy that has captain potential for sure. Even though he doesn't seem like the most loud and boisterous guy in the world, he strikes me almost as maybe he could be a Daniel Alfredsson type of captain if that's going to be the case. With him leading by example, going out there on the ice, not being a big rah-rah type of guy, giving these big inspirational speeches necessarily in the room, but much like Alfredsson, going out, leading by example on the ice. Shabbat, great offensive defenseman. I think his defensive game, well, it's not quite where I want to be yet. It's definitely improving, and it's going to be great, I think. Next up at number 7, we have Craig Anderson, who appeared in 435 games for Ottawa. This was a guy who was a great soldier. He put up with a lot, especially his final few years. And yeah, he wasn't the greatest goalie in the world either his final few years, but hey, he was past his prime. And for Craig Anderson, I'm so happy to see this guy get success and to see him stay in the league. And it's debatable, you can debate all you want, whether he should get another contract like he did with Buffalo or whatever, but I'm happy for him nonetheless. Nothing's going to change my opinion on that. And I hope he does well for Buffalo because, like I said, he seems like a great guy off the ice. And just a guy you would want to be your next door neighbor and even want to get to know. Next up at number 6, we have Gabriel Pagio, who appeared in 428 games for the Sens. Great penalty killer, seemed like a good guy again. That's kind of a theme here in this list, is guys who seemed like they would be people you'd want to get to know. And Pagio really showed that he had a lot more offense as the years went on in Ottawa. And that led to him obviously getting the big paycheck with the New York Islanders. The Sens didn't really want to pay him that much, so they traded him out in a rebuilding scenario. But Gabriel Pagio comes in at number 6. Number 5, we have a guy whose career was cut short, unfortunately, and his career was done way too early, and that guy is Macarthur. He only appeared in 149 games with Ottawa. He was with the Sens for 4 years. I mean, probably more like 7 if you count the end of his contract, which finished in 2020. But Macarthur, this guy, like I said, his career way too short. He had a bad concussion on October 14th, 2015, and that took him out of the lineup for the rest of the year there. Obviously, we know in the scrimmage he was hit by Patrick Seeloff, who was then fought by Bobby Ryan, and that big hit took Macarthur out for the whole season up until the final 4 games of the 16-17 regular season. And then he came back in the playoffs, and that was so special to see Macarthur have success in the playoffs. He failed his physical, though, in the fall of 2017. and it just looks like he'll never play again. He more than likely will never play again. I'm not sure if he has officially announced his retirement yet, but nonetheless, Clark Macarthur seemed like a great guy, a guy you really want to root for. I was a huge Clark Macarthur fan even when he was in Toronto. At number 4, we have Bobby Ryan, who played in 455 games for Ottawa. He had a great first few years for the Sens, and a lot of people I know, all they want to talk about is how bad he was the final few years, but let's not forget 13-14, 14-15, and 15-16 were pretty solid years for Bobby Ryan. He had a very solid playoffs in their 2017 run to the Eastern Conference Finals, but he could never replicate that success he had in the 2017 playoffs for his final few years in Ottawa, which is unfortunate, but Bobby Ryan does come in at number 4 for me. At number 3, we have a guy whose career in Ottawa was way too short. That's Mika Zibanejad, playing only 281 games for the Sens. We all know he was traded in the summer of 2016 for Derek Brassard, as the Sens felt they could win now. So they got the then more experienced Derek Brassard for the less experienced Zibanejad, even though everyone with eyes knew that Zibanejad had the higher ceiling than Brassard. And I was heartbroken when they traded Zibanejad, and I'm not going to lie, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this either. It took me probably about a year and a half to really get over it fully, and I was just absolutely crushed by this trade, like I said. So Mika Zibanejad comes in at number 3. Second on my list is Zach Smith. He played in 612 games for Ottawa. And Zach Smith, you're thinking, oh, he's not that great of a player, or he wasn't that great of a player for Ottawa, more of a grinding type of guy. Why would you like him? Well, I don't know. I was just always drawn to him. And yeah, maybe he's not the type of player I would traditionally like, just because he was more of a physical, grinded out type guy. But I liked him because he wasn't a dirty player. I really have respect for guys who are physical, but they're not dirty. They're not always on the edge, making those bad hits every once in a while. That was really never Zach Smith. And coming in at number 1 on the list is Erik Carlson. Let me say this, Carlson is not my favorite player in the league right now. That honor goes to Mika Zibanejad. But I'm just telling you guys, how I thought of these players and how much I liked them when they were Ottawa Senators. Obviously, I've gotten a little bit older as they've moved on to different teams. Maybe feel a little bit different about them or whatever. But Erik Carlson, who appeared in 627 games for the Ottawa Senators, may have been the best player they've ever had in their franchise history. You can argue Daniel Alfredsson, Jason Spezza, even Danny Heatley for a little bit, but Erik Carlson did it for a very long time, and he was also very good too. In my opinion, he's definitely the best player the Sens have ever had to this point. Say what you want about him now and how he's really declined, and yes, I definitely am well aware of that, but Erik Carlson, up until his final year in Ottawa, which was 17-18, I thought he was very good. Injuries have definitely marred his career. There's no question about that. Before his injuries, this guy was unbelievable. We all remember him and Craig Anderson, those two, especially Carlson in the 2017 playoffs, almost single-handedly carried this Ottawa Senators team to a Stanley Cup final, pretty much. They were just one shot away, double overtime, Game 7. What a job by Erik Carlson. He comes in at number 1 for me. It's a top 10 right now. This could change a few years from now, with all the young guys Ottawa has. Maybe I get to like them more and more, and maybe they come into the top 10 as well. For honorable mentions, I have Drake Batherson, Chris Tierney, Dylan DeMello, Chris Phillips, Milan McCulloch, and Nick Paul. Obviously, I could go on a lot longer for honorable mentions, but I don't want to be here all night long because there's that many players I've liked. Ottawa's done a good job for the most part of bringing in guys I've liked over the years and bringing in likable players who have good character and they work hard. So good on the Sens for that. That's my top 10 list. Please let me know what you all think in the comment section below. Also, show me your top 10 list as well that you have for your favorite Ottawa Senators of all time. Please like and subscribe and share this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.